For now,
Yeah.
yes,
You
thank you.
can. You can record this.
Yeah, I can see you are busy, but thank you for the time, sir. You're good, sir.
Yeah. So what I like to tell all of you guys, when you are young, know everything is possible. Everything you want to achieve and everything you want to do is possible. But aside motivation, you need practice. Fear, fear grows, fear grows where there is stillness. Fear grows where there is stagnation. Fear grows where there is idleness. Fear grows where there is limitation. But fear breaks where there is motion. Fear breaks where there is action. Fear breaks where there is a first step. When a baby is born, 1 year, the baby attempts to crawl, the baby is afraid, but the baby will fall several times and eventually build a confidence. So, some things you want to do in life, you need that confidence. But confidence is not something we just get by preaching. It comes also in steps. So there are two confidence. There's one that comes by motivation and by inspiration. And there's one you are also going to get by the action. So everything that you hear preach, everything that you hear in your life, how much of that have you practiced? How much of that have you put into action? Because your soul and your spirit are two different things. Your spirit can have a revelation, your spirit can have insight, your spirit can download light, but your soul is made up of your mind, your will, and your emotion. So you need to have an experience. You need to have a part of experience to engage into your willpower, your mind power, and your emotion. As you constantly practice, then your soul now begins to have strength and the power and the capacity. You look at the man of God, Abraham. God said to Abraham, I'll make you a father of many nations. It came to him by revelation. But 25 years later is when Abraham was persuaded, fully persuaded, that what God said, God can do. So there's a difference between revelation and realization. You want to bridge the gap. Abraham took 25 years. When you are young, through mentorship, through practice, through engagement, fail young, fail fast, fail young and fail fast, fail small, and learn quickly, rise quickly. So I'll just tell you that everything is doable, everything is possible, but you have to build that capacity. And that capacity comes with experience. The more you give yourself some level of experience, the more you'll be able to do much more in life. Is there any question you guys have?
Yes, sure. We have a lot of questions, but I think I'll start with my personal question, bro. As a young person coming up, a person has finished school, a person is just in a country like Nigeria in Africa. You know that Africa has not does not have good economic system. You have bad rules, bad leadership, no jobs, and all that. What will be your advice to a young person that just graduated from university, good grades, good everything, towards finance and entrepreneurship? What's the one thing you would like to tell that person?
You see, the world is changing. There's evolution. The world is moving faster than the syllables that are in the university. 10,000 years ago, the agricultural revolution happened. About 300, 250 years, the steam, mechanical engineering came in. The mechanical revolution comes in. It takes about 200, 300 years. All cars begins to have steam engines and stuff like that begins to spread. Then you also have finally the internet, which comes in about 30 years ago, 40 years ago. It took time for it to spread. And now artificial intelligence, within 2 months, things are gone. So what it tells you is speed. The world is moving at a very fast speed. So, and the world is also becoming a global village. So when you graduate from an institution, even though you are in Nigeria, you don't limit yourself to Nigeria. You become a digital citizen.
Um,
Once you're on social media, you have branded yourself, you have created content, you are articulate, you are sharp, you are focused, you are visible, you are vocal, you are valuable. Once you have value, you are vocal, you are visible, you begin to connect with partners all across the world. People who will buy into your vision, people who want to partner with you. So don't limit yourself to your environment. Understand culture, understand territories, understand timings, understand social intelligence. And social intelligence, meaning managing the emotions of others. Emotional intelligence is managing your own emotion. So as a young person who have graduated, don't limit yourself to your economy. That's one. Understand you have the whole digital space. It's something you must understand and learn. And those of you who have not graduated, you can start building yourself even before you graduate on the social space. Two, find a mentor, a businessman, or somebody who is also a spiritual person, but not only a spiritual person, where you can learn from. You can become an apprentice, you can learn some trade, you can learn some service, because service to give you access, service to give you contacts, service to give you network, service to give you experience. So don't just try and use like 6 months to 1 year to gain that experience. Don't just focus on the money. Don't just focus on the money.
Right,
Don't
Prof.
just focus on the money.
All right, Prof.
Rather consider.
Yeah, Prof. Talking about mentorship, there was something that happened in Nigeria a few weeks ago. There is a man called Dr. Stephen Akintayo. He's a multi-billionaire, a businessman, and a great person. So he charges, I think, somewhere around $18,000 for mentorship. And Nigeria just went haywire. Everybody was like, oh, why would you charge so much for mentorship? What would you want to say about how important mentorship is to youth, especially for us who are business youths?
Well, what a person charge, you must understand ignorance is more expensive. Ignorance will cost you a fortune. Ignorance will cost you, you pay more for your ignorance than you pay for any course. And so whatever he's charged is nothing compared to the cost of ignorance. If you are ignorant about many things, you end up paying more. Example, you are building a house. You want to get cheap labor. You don't want to pay the right contractors and all of that. Eventually, your building even collapses. So all the money you've put in has gone down the drain. Somebody might even sue you. The legal implications. So anytime you are going to pay for, you have to pay for knowledge. Knowledge that you don't pay for, you can never truly value to an appreciable degree. And by the way, I'm here also with one of my very good friends. He's a man of God, Apostle Joseph Adai Kusi, who is one of the most enlightened person out there. So you guys are blessed. Wow. And some of your questions, my friend also here can answer them.
Wow, good afternoon, sir. So the crowd, good afternoon. I'll take a few questions from the crowd and we'll take it to you briefly. But before we start taking questions, Prof, you are having root from India. Why do you have so much love and passion for Africans as a whole, especially when it comes to entrepreneurship? I've never asked you this question. I kept it to ask it to you today.
You know, Africa is still within the developing state, and there is massive potential and great young talent and energy here. So why not contribute and impact the people over here? Africa has a population of 900 million population within the age bracket of 19 to 21. I said Africa. And in 10 years to come, if you don't empower this human capital, it can become a demographic disaster. So definitely there should be seminars, forums, and programs and initiatives to empower the younger ones so that it can rather become a demographic dividend, a profit, a plus to our economy, our industrialization. A lot of things have to be developed. You need that manpower. And if you have the right population and the youth and you empower them in the right skills, the right focus, the right attitude, we can have a great leverage.
Okay. Thank you very much, Prof. So we'll go straight to the crowd. A few people have a question for you. Please listen while they ask the question, sir.
I will be Prof, please, I will love you to enlighten us more on mentorship. Coming from our own country, a lot of mentors here. We want to differentiate between when a person is being patient with a mentor and when a person is wasting his time with a mentor.
The mentor. Okay. Okay. Take the question again. You want to know the difference? You want to know the difference?
I want to know the differences between time wastage with a mentor than when a person is being patient with a mentor. Because I believe
when a person being patient with mentor and time wastage, I'm going to let my friend, the man of God, answer this question. All right.
Okay, so just to be clear, you're talking about the person being mentored, the protege. You're asking, when do you know when the protege is wasting his time with a mentor?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so first of all, there are different kind of mentors. One person can one person can mentor you, give you all the mentoring you need. All right. There are financial mentors, there are relationship coaches, there are attitudinal mentors, there are personal growth mentors, all kinds of mentors. You want a person to mentor you out of their strengths. So, for instance, there are a lot of leadership and mentorship opportunities, for instance, for people in ministry. But if you're looking for a minister to mentor you, the question is, in what area exactly are they mentoring you? Because some mentors pose as almighty, and when they see you, maybe this person is very good at mentoring you in theological things, but in your theological training, so such a mentor should be happy to see you maybe getting somebody who is training you specifically in the area of personal growth and leadership as a minister. So you know you are wasting your time with a mentor when they are not mentoring you out of their strengths. So you have to ask yourself, what is the track record of this mentor? Because your mentor is a prediction of your future. So what really is the track record of this mentor? If the mentor is not strong in the area they are mentoring you in, it's a waste of time. Secondly, you need a mentor who is not jealous of you. Okay? Now, a lot of times we think when we talk about jealousy and envy, we are talking about somebody who has more than you. So only somebody who has less than you can envy or be jealous of you. But when somebody has more than you, but they are jealous of you, that's even worse. Because then they are jealous of your spirit, they are jealous of your energy, they are jealous of who you are, which is something they can be. All right, which is something they can be. All right. If I'm jealous, if somebody is jealous of you because of the car you drive, maybe you drive a Mercedes. I can also drive a Mercedes one day. But when someone is jealous of you because of who you are, they can never be who you are. And if you are a protege and you are working with a mentor and the mentor is jealous of your gifts, jealous of your potential, you are wasting your time. You're also wasting your time if your mentor has any kind of ulterior motives about you. Maybe they are just using you. A lot of young ministers go to leaders and they want to be mentored for ministry. And all of a sudden they realize, this minister has just found someone to milk. Every day he wants me to give him, bring money, do this, do that. And it's constant. And you realize that the person is not even focusing on mentoring or adding value to you. But they are just using you as a pawn on their own chessboard. So you realize you are just being used. So that's also a good reason to stop the relationship or realize you are being used.
Thank you, sir. I would love Prof to shed light on your newest book, The Queen's Code. A lot of us here don't know about it, so I would love you to give us some hint on it so we could get it purchased. Just like yours always say, knowledge is power. What you are liking will kill you, right? So I want you to share about The Queen's Code, your newest book, so that we can all get to purchase it.
You know, there are a lot of ladies and women out there, whether you are young, you are married, you are now about to date, you want to grow in your awareness, your identity, in harnessing your potential, building yourself to your full capacity. And that is why that's why we call it a queen's code. So you harnessing yourself to that capacity and unleashing all your potential in different aspects of your life is why you need that book. And it's not only for the women, the men too would now understand the fabric of a woman and will know how to approach a woman, address a woman, and relate with a woman and create that environment for his wife or for his queen. In the name that he'll say, you're a queen, but he will understand what it means to address a queen. So if you're out there, you can contact Isaac and he'll show you how to get the book.
All right.
We also have another one coming called The Wisdom of the Kings, but we'll talk about that another time. But that's another powerful one. And my good friend here, this is Apostle Joseph Adai Kusi. Those of you who don't know him, you can check him out. One of the revered and enlightened men of God. One of the men of God I deeply respect. And personally, when I have questions, this is the man of God I call. Wow. And he has some of his contribution in The Wisdom of the Kings.
Wow.
So you should look out for him online on TikTok, on Instagram, Apostle Joseph Adai Kusi. He's written about more than 40, 30 books, 100 books, but he's published about 20 books are being published. Yeah. One of the finest minds in Africa.
Wow.
One of the finest minds in Africa. Like coming from the African soil. This is one of the finest, brilliant minds.
Right.
So those of you who are interested in knowledge, seeking more wisdom, check out for my friend. That's why you are blessed that in this program he's present. Maybe we'll give another person an opportunity to ask one more question to my friend before we close.
All right, one more person, then question. I have a bunch of questions. I don't know if it's moving. Yeah, just be loud. Speak from there.
Okay, sir, when you were speaking the first time, you said something about failing early, failing fast, and learning fast. So I just want to emphasize more on failing and learning fast.
A child, when a child is walking and a child is 1 year old or 2 year old trying to walk, they will crawl, they will fall, they will now build their confidence. As I said, fear grows in stillness, in idleness, in stagnation, but fear shrinks in motion, in action. So as the child falls and he learns, he begins to build his confidence. So when I talk of feeling young, it's like, imagine that child never decided to walk and the child was just sitting on the chair or in the mother's lap. And now the child is 10 years old and he begins to walk. His fall is going to be a greater tragedy. It would have been better he fell when he was young than try to fall when he's 7 years or 8 years old. So attempt to do something in your life as you are young, but do it in a small scale so that it will not be fatal. You do in a small scale, you make some 1 or 2 mistakes. You have to learn through the process of life, not just through theory. Yeah, not just through theory.
Prof, please, this is the last one, I promise.
Yeah.
The theme for this conference is when the chips are down, breaking financial points into breakthroughs. So what do you have to say about that? What's your advice generally on that?
Learn to find a product or a service that you can offer. When I talk of being visible, being valuable, being vocal, your value you have, find a product or a service that you can sell out there and find people that you have offered that services or products to that can give you testimonials and review. But you have to enter the place to find something to sell, something to trade. And then you can build it up, whether on social media, whether door to door, whether house to house, whether in a location, whether it is food, and try to be innovative about it. But find something to sell. If you don't enter into something you can sell, everything you have will just be a motivation.
Wow. Everything we have will just be a motivation. Thank you very, very, very much, Prof. We are honored. We are very happy and excited to hear you. We are honored, Prof. Please,
Thank you.
I would also like to cut it, and I also request for the permission to chop it and send it out there online so that other people can learn and gain knowledge from this. Right, Prof?
Sure.
Thank you very much, Prof. Thank you. Please, a round of applause for him again.